In this week's episode of the Working with Todoist, it's all about the people label. Hello and welcome to another episode of Working with Todoist. My name is Carl Pulleen, and in this week's episode I want to deal with an issue that all you GTDers may find that you have. Now, for those of you who don't know, GTD means getting things done, which comes from a book written by David Allen. Now, the book is almost become the Bible for most productivity people because it is a brilliant productivity system. Now, system is probably the wrong word, but it is a set of fundamental basics that you can follow, which actually gives you incredible amount of flexibility. Now, one of the things with getting things done is to organize your tasks by something that is called context. Now, context basically means people, place, or things, people, place, or tools that you need in order to do that particular task. Now, the bit I want to focus on today is the people context, or for those of us in the Todoist ecosystem, the people label. Now, the people label means if I have a task that I need to discuss with my wife, or I need to give to my wife, or I need to talk to my wife about before I can do the task, then I will label it with my wife's name. Likewise, if you're a manager in a company and you have 3 or 4 employees who you're managing, then you would probably create a label for each of those employees, and any task that you need to do with that person or talk to that person, you would add the name of that person as a label. All very good. But the problem becomes when you have 10 to 20 or even more people that you have regular contact with. Then you have a problem, because having 10, 20 or even more labels with the person, with so many different people, your labels list just becomes overwhelming, and then you forget to look at the list. So the idea is, how do you keep that list short? And there's a couple of ways that you can do it, and in this episode I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, before we do that, I'd just like to say, if you like this episode, please click on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. Okay, let's go into Todoist, and I'll show you how I would set up if I had a lot of people I was following in the labels system. Okay, so here we are in my labels list, and I have a few of the standard labels, as you can see: computer, laptop, assuming that I used to have a desktop, now I only have a laptop, house, calls, office, routines, blah 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 blah. The ones we're going to be featured on today is these ones down here. So you can have, in my case, wife. I don't actually use wife as my real label, this is my demo account, but I would use my wife's name. But imagine, let's say Peter is my best friend and Sarah is my sister, for example. Let's just say those are my situations. Now, this is perfectly manageable list. That's fantastic. Now, the problem, of course, is when you have a long list of people that you have regular contact with. Now, the way around this is actually, rather than having individual labels for individual people. Now, just imagine, for example, as I said in the introduction, this could be just your co-workers that you work with in your team, in which case, again, and you could just add a label for your boss. And we're going to give that one an orange because I like to keep mine color coded. And so things that you want to talk to your boss about, sure, we can have them like that. But what happens if you are the boss and you manage a long list of people? Now, that's going to start becoming a lot more difficult. Now, the way I would do this, and let's just say you're the managing director of your own company. So what I would actually have is I would create a label called directors. Now, that's, give again because it's a people. So we have a label called directors. So these are the people that I work with. These are my co-workers. And what I would do is I would create a task. And let's just say, okay, we'll get rid of these because this is my demo account, so I can get rid of those. So let's just say we have a task, talk to John about, let's say talk to John about next month's board meeting. And I didn't, I gotta watch that, about next month's, gotta spell months. Oh, problems again today. And I don't want that, so let's get rid of that. So next month's board meeting, and let's say talk to if she can attend. Be of the meeting. I'm just going to save myself spelling opportunity errors. So there we go. Talk to Stephanie about to find out if she can attend. So that's how you could do that. And I could, what I would do is I would add the label at directors, and Stephanie also a board of directors, so I'm going to add directors there. Now, okay, that's great, that's fine, but the thing is, how am I going to know whether I need to talk to Stephanie or not? So the way I do this, and I would do this, is I would actually create a bolding. And I use this for my waiting for list when I put a date of when I started waiting for something. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put John and save it like this. So what basically means now is that John comes up in bold, and I'm going to do the same here for Stephanie. Wait with me, by the way, just wait with me, because you'll see how this works. Okay, so what I've done here is I've created these tasks now. So it's under the name directors, and I have 2 different people. Now there could be 14 directors. Now I don't want to create 14 labels for the people I'm talking with. So this is the way that I do it. Now, if you follow my advice and you do your golden 10 at the end of every day, what you will see is that you have a meeting with John tomorrow, or you will see John tomorrow. Therefore, what I would do is I would go into my label directors. I would see John, and then what I'm going to do is I would just add the date tomorrow, and because I want this to show up in my focus task, I'm going to add P2, and that's now there. Let's say on Saturday I'm meeting Stephanie for coffee, so I'm going to put P2 again, and I'm just going to put the date for Saturday. And there we go, it's tomorrow as well. So that's the way I would do it. So what this is going to do is this will then come up in my list. And when I look at my list, obviously it's not today, but let's look at my next 7 days. What you'll see is that tomorrow I have these come up, and they're very, very bright. They stand out. I see them. Now, this will only work if you are using the golden 10 system, or that you're doing your daily review at the end of every day. So you're looking at your calendar and you're going to see where you are. That way you can see that these are going to come up, and you say, oh, I'm going to see Stephanie tomorrow. I know that Stephanie is a director, she's a fellow director, so I can look in that. The same you could do like with your marketing team. So you can do your marketing team, and there could be like 10 or 11 people in the marketing team. So in that situation, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating tasks like, so let's say again, we want to talk to, let's say Jenny, who's our designer in the marketing team, about designs. And again, I wouldn't do anything other than that, and I would just put marketing team. Now, the thing is, if I'm not in the office tomorrow, I don't need to do that. But when I know I'm checking, I'm in the office, and I think, oh yes, I can see that, I need to talk to Jenny, then I can just add, okay, I'm going to see her on Monday, so I'm typing Monday. That's going to come up, and I would flag it with my P2 or P1, depends how urgent it is, of course, and then I would do it. That way, again, when it comes up in my list, I will see on Monday, Jenny comes up, and that tells me exactly that I need to talk to Jenny. But as I say, this really does work if you're following the golden 10 and you're using your calendar. When you do your golden 10, you check to see where you are, who you're likely to talk about, talk with, and then you can actually start creating it. It's much better than having a long list of 20 or 30 different people that you're going to have to talk to, because that when the list becomes overwhelming and you'll never look at it. This way you are in a lot stronger position, and it keeps your labels nice and short, so they're much easier to look at. Again, you can create one for like sales team and have maybe 50 salespeople in your sales team, but you don't have to have 50 names, because you can just have sales team and you create the name at the beginning. Okay, hopefully that has given you some food for thought and given you some ideas to be able to simplify your labels, particularly when you're dealing with people. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw and you would like to learn more about becoming better organized and more productive, then get yourself enrolled in my free beginner's guide to creating your own COD system. And if you'd like to learn more about how I can help you, then visit my website at carlpullein.com. All the details are in the show notes below.